Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. Tensions are rising in Washington as the Commanders and their star wide receiver Terry McLaren find themselves locked in a contract dispute just weeks before training camp kicks off. McLaren, entering the final year of his current deal, is reportedly pushing for a lucrative new contract that would keep him in Washington for another 3 years, with an average salary of about $30 million per season. This demand underscores how much the 29-year-old values his worth in the NFL, especially given his impressive track record. Sources reveal McLaren has been unhappy with his current deal well before minicamp even started, and the standoff appears likely to continue, potentially casting a shadow over the Commanders' preparations for the upcoming season. The tension is palpable, with rumors swirling that if no agreement is reached, the team might consider trading their top receiver, sparking intense speculation about his future and which team might snap him up. Terry McLaurin has been nothing short of a model of consistency and excellence for the Commanders over the past several years. In a league where wide receivers often experience ups and downs based on quarterback play or team dynamics, McLaurin has managed to produce over 1,000 receiving yards in 5 consecutive seasons. A feat that not only shows his talent, but also his resilience. Despite the Commanders' revolving door at quarterback, McLaurin has remained a constant threat on the field. His 2024 stats so far, including 13 touchdowns, highlight his ability to perform against elite defensive backs. At 29 years old, many might argue he's at the tail end of his prime, but McLaurin continues to display sharp route running, sure hands, and that innate ability to create separation, proving why he's considered one of the league's most reliable wideouts. As contract talks with Washington reach an impasse, the possibility of a trade has fueled speculation about where McLaurin could end up if the Commanders decide to move on. Several franchises stand out as logical suitors for the star wide receiver. The Las Vegas Raiders, for instance, have been actively searching for a true number one receiver to energize their offense and provide Geno Smith with a consistent outside threat after trading away Davante Adams. McLaurin's skill set fits perfectly into the Raiders' need for stability in their receiving core. Meanwhile, the Los Angeles Chargers, led by rising quarterback Justin Herbert, could benefit greatly from adding a reliable ex-receiver to complement their arsenal, especially alongside young talents like Ladd McConkey, making them another attractive landing spot for McLaurin. Another intriguing potential destination is the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team that has shown aggressiveness in their offseason moves and still lacks a solid number 2 receiver behind DK Metcalf. Adding McLaurin could bring a level of stability and veteran presence the Steelers desperately need to balance their receiving core. His proven ability to produce at a high level, no matter the quarterback or offensive scheme, could be just what Pittsburgh requires to elevate its passing game. The Steelers' history of valuing tough, consistent players matches McLaurin's profile perfectly. If Washington's front office decides that trading him is the best course of action, the Steelers could be front and center in the bidding war for his talents. One of the biggest questions surrounding any potential McLaurin trade is the cost the acquiring team might face. With just 1 year left on his current contract, Washington holds a unique leverage point. The Commanders can either hold out for a solid draft pick in the 2nd or 3rd round or risk losing McLaurin for nothing in free agency next year. Experts believe the price tag to secure McLaurin's services won't be astronomical, likely a 2nd or 3rd round pick, which, considering his proven production and impact on the field, could be considered a bargain. For teams in desperate need of a dependable wide receiver to boost their offense immediately, that price seems reasonable and potentially a steal given McLaurin's consistent high-level play. The timing of this dispute is critical as the NFL training camp approaches, a period where teams finalize their rosters and build chemistry ahead of the season. For the Commanders, the uncertainty surrounding McLaurin's status could have ripple effects on the entire offense. Having one of their best weapons possibly distracted or absent during camp could hurt Washington's preparations and, ultimately, their performance on the field. On McLaurin's side, the frustration with contract negotiations could affect his mindset and readiness for the season if the situation drags on. Both parties face pressure to reach an agreement quickly. But if tensions persist, the looming trade talks will become harder to ignore as the camp progresses. McLaurin's impact on the Commanders goes beyond mere statistics. His leadership and presence in the locker room have been instrumental in keeping the team competitive, especially during challenging seasons. For a franchise eager to return to playoff contention, losing a player of his caliber could be a significant setback. That's why Washington's management finds itself in a delicate balancing act, holding on to a valuable asset while managing salary cap considerations and team dynamics. How they handle this contract dispute could set a precedent for future negotiations with other key players. At the same time, McLaurin's insistence on a fair deal reflects the growing trend of players demanding contracts that reflect their true market value, especially those who consistently deliver elite performances year after year. Looking at the bigger picture, this contract dispute between McLaurin and the Commanders highlights a common issue in the NFL, the challenge of managing star players' expectations versus team budgets and long-term planning. Many teams face this dilemma, especially when players enter the final year of their contracts and demand raises that reflect their elite status. Negotiations can become tense, and the threat of trades or holdouts looms large. For McLaurin, who has proven his worth on the field, securing a contract that matches his performance is more than just about money. It's about respect and recognition. For the Commanders, deciding how to respond to his demands will influence their competitiveness and culture going forward. As the weeks tick closer to the start of the season, fans and analysts alike will be watching this story unfold with great interest. If McLaurin and the Commanders reach an agreement, it could serve as a model of patience and negotiation done right. But if talks collapse and McLaurin is traded, it could trigger a domino effect across the league as teams scramble to adjust their receiving core accordingly. The Commanders in particular will face intense scrutiny over their handling of the situation. Meanwhile, McLaurin's next chapter, whether it's in Washington or elsewhere, will undoubtedly be one of the most talked about storylines in the NFL offseason, highlighting the intersection of business and sport at its most dramatic. In the end, this contract dispute is more than just a negotiation. It's a pivotal moment for both Terry McLaurin and the Washington Commanders. McLaurin, a player who has consistently delivered and proven his worth, is demanding what he believes he deserves in the prime years of his career. The Commanders, meanwhile, must decide whether to meet his demands or potentially let go of a franchise cornerstone. As training camp looms, the tension will only build, making this one of the most captivating storylines heading into the NFL season. Whatever happens, one thing is clear. Terry McLaurin's value is undeniable, and his next move will have major ripple effects throughout the league for years to come. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. There's a growing buzz swirling around the NFL world that Tyreek Hill, one of the most electrifying wide receivers in recent memory, might be heading to a surprising new destination, the Washington Commanders. Imagine the shockwaves this would send through the league. Hill, known for his blazing speed and jaw-dropping plays, reportedly signed a 4-year deal with Washington. While nothing has been officially confirmed, sources close to the situation hint that this move could be imminent. The Commanders, a team eager to shake off their recent struggles, seem poised to inject serious firepower into their offense. The possibility of Hill donning a burgundy and gold jersey has fans and analysts buzzing, wondering how this would alter the dynamics of both the Commanders and the entire NFC East. Hill's presence alone could be the catalyst Washington needs to climb the standings and maybe even contend in a tough division. What makes this rumor even juicier is the timing and the contract length. 4 years is a serious commitment in the NFL, signaling that Washington might be fully invested in building around Hill's talents. It's no secret that Tyreek Hill's speed and playmaking ability have been game changers wherever he's played, most notably with the Kansas City Chiefs, where he became a crucial weapon. If the whispers prove true, this signing would mark a dramatic shift in Washington's offensive philosophy, potentially transforming them into a high-octane threat. Fans are already speculating how the team's quarterback and coaching staff would adapt to maximize Hill's unique skill set. The rumor also raises questions about salary cap maneuvers and which players might be impacted to make room for such a high-profile acquisition. This potential signing could ripple across the league in ways we can't yet fully grasp. There's an undeniable excitement brewing about how Tyreek Hill would fit into the Commanders' current roster. His speed alone could force opposing defenses to rethink their strategies completely. Imagine the matchup nightmares for defenders when they try to cover Hill's explosive routes and deep threat capability. Washington's offensive weapons have been solid but somewhat inconsistent in recent seasons, and adding a receiver of Hill's caliber could elevate their game exponentially. If this 4-year deal is more than just speculation, it might mark the beginning of a new era for Washington, where their passing attack becomes one of the most feared in the NFL. The narrative around this possible signing is full of what-ifs, and fans can't help but get caught up in the possibility of watching Hill dazzle under the lights in the nation's capital. The buzz doesn't stop at the offensive side of the ball either. Hill's signing could have a significant impact on team culture and locker room dynamics. Known for his work ethic and competitive spirit, Hill's arrival in Washington might bring a fresh energy and leadership that the Commanders have been craving. Sources suggest that this potential deal could also influence the team's draft and free agency strategies moving forward, as they might build around Hill's presence for years to come. The rumors hint at a larger, more ambitious plan by Washington's front office to rebuild and contend, with Hill as a cornerstone piece. If true, this would undoubtedly shift the narrative around the Commanders, turning them from underdogs to legitimate contenders in the eyes of fans and pundits alike. On the flip side, skeptics point out that the Commanders haven't always been able to maximize the talents of big-name players in recent years, raising questions about whether Hill's skills would truly flourish in Washington's system. Some insiders suggest the potential signing comes with considerable risk, especially given the big financial commitment involved. However, the buzz keeps growing because Hill's history of explosive plays and ability to change games single-handedly can't be ignored. The idea that he could turn Washington into a must-watch offense is tantalizing. Whether the Commanders can offer the right environment for Hill to reach his full potential remains to be seen. But the rumors alone have sparked a wave of optimism among the team's fan base. This possible deal might be just what Washington needs to push the reset button on their franchise. Adding to the intrigue, there's talk that this potential signing could cause ripple effects in the NFC East, with Hill possibly joining Washington. Their rivals, the Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles, and New York Giants, would have to rethink their defensive game plans drastically. The mere presence of Hill in the division could force a strategic arms race among these teams to keep pace. Some insiders are already speculating that other NFC East franchises might pursue aggressive moves in free agency or the draft to counterbalance Washington's newfound offensive weapon. The division, which has been fiercely competitive, could become even more intense and unpredictable with Hill in the mix. This rumor alone is enough to spark endless debates about the future power dynamics in one of the NFL's most storied divisions. There are whispers that Hill's possible move to Washington isn't just about on-field production, but also about marketing and branding opportunities. Hill is a household name, a player who transcends football with his highlight reel plays and charisma. For the Commanders, a franchise seeking to rebrand and reconnect with fans, signing a superstar like Hill could be a masterstroke. It could boost ticket sales, merchandise revenue, and overall interest in the team. Industry insiders speculate that the 4-year contract might also reflect Washington's long-term vision to build a team that excites both fans and sponsors alike. If these rumors hold any truth, the signing would not just be a football move, but a strategic play for the franchise's future, both on and off the field. This potential deal could mark a pivotal chapter in Washington's evolution. Some reports suggest the negotiations for this possible deal have been quietly progressing for months, indicating a high level of mutual interest between Hill and Washington. Sources close to the talks hint that Hill's camp sees the Commanders as a team with untapped potential and a chance to be the main offensive weapon. a role he's clearly hungry for. This adds another layer of complexity to the rumor mill, as Hill's desire to be the focal point of an offense could align perfectly with Washington's goals. The 4-year duration of the rumored contract also suggests a strong commitment from both sides, aiming for stability and sustained success, rather than a short-term experiment. If this comes to fruition, it could redefine Hill's career trajectory and the Commanders' fortunes in a profound way. Meanwhile, fans across social media are lighting up with reactions. Some thrilled by the possibility of seeing Hill light up the scoreboard in Washington colors, others cautious but intrigued by what this signing could mean. The online chatter ranges from highlight compilations of Hill's greatest moments to debates about how he would mesh with Washington's quarterback and coaching staff. There's a palpable sense of anticipation, with fans speculating how quickly the team could improve on what this means for their playoff hopes. The buzz alone has created a wave of optimism in a fan base eager for change and success. Whether the rumors prove true or not, Hill's name is now firmly linked with Washington in the collective imagination of NFL fans, setting the stage for a fascinating offseason. Finally, while all of this remains in the realm of speculation, the potential 4-year deal between Tyreek Hill and the Washington Commanders is one of the most talked about stories in the NFL offseason so far. If it materializes, it would mark a bold move by the Commanders to shake up their franchise's trajectory and compete at a higher level. The combination of Hill's unparalleled speed, playmaking ability, and the Commanders' need for an offensive spark makes this rumor irresistible. Whether or not this signing happens, the very discussion around it has injected fresh energy into Washington's narrative and given fans something exciting to look forward to. As we watch this story unfold, one thing is clear. The Commanders might be on the cusp of something big, and Tyreek Hill could be the key to unlocking that future. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow. Ask for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.